is a good whipping. I haven't come forth in a great many years because I didn't want to be relegated to another guest on a TV talk show. But I can assure you, Satanism is here to stay. Satan can take the form of a beautiful woman. Satan can take the form of a sleek animal. An automobile can be very satanic. These things can be anthropomorphized into Satan. Well, when I was a teenager, I was interested in the occult. And the occult in those days meant you got dream books and you got books on fortune telling and all that sort of thing. And the closest thing there was to anything about calling up spirits or demons and that sort of thing was a lot of gobbledygook where you stood around in a circle and you used the protective names of Jehovah and Jesus and all that. And I tried it. Oh, Lord knows I tried it, but it didn't work. And so I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to call up any demons, if I'm going to get any magical power, if I'm going to get anything going my way, I better get on the side of those guys instead of protecting myself from them. I love life very much, and it's been said that I can't possibly love life, that I'm a very unhappy man, or must be a very unhappy man. And I would say that I'm a very happy man, an extremely happy man, in a compulsively unhappy world. The Church of Satan would have nothing to do with something like breeders or abductions of children or stealing of animals or that sort of thing, because, again, the question why certainly isn't very satanic to want to take anything against its will. Sex goddesses of the past have been largely as a result of luck more than anything else. However, in the case of Jane Mansfield, she was an active member of the Church of Satan and certainly under tragic circumstances left the Church of Satan. In the situation concerning Miss Monroe, that was a long, long time ago, long before the Church of Satan. However, she did have an unswerving interest in the dark side of life, and I think that was one of the main reasons that we managed to hit it off the way we did. To the detractors or the accusers or the people of the other side that would say that Satanists would like to kill animals, sacrifice animals, I would say that they would make ideal human sacrifices. I love animals. I've always been part of animals. Animals are part of me. I believe that all churches of all denominations should be taxed to the hilt. If churches were taxed as any other business, because that's what they are, simply businesses. If they were taxed, the national debt would be wiped out overnight.
Welcome to Gnostic Warrior Radio Show and Podcast, broadcasting from GnosticWarrior.com in San Diego, California, to around the world. I'm your host, Mo, and today we have the pleasure of having a discussion with Mark Passio of WhatOnEarthIsHappening.com. Mark is an independent researcher and teacher Since 2008, Mark has educated people around the world with his incredible wealth of knowledge. It's a great pleasure to have him today on the podcast. How you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing well, Mo. Thanks so much for inviting me onto your show.
Great. I appreciate you agreeing to be a guest. I've been watching and listening to a lot of your podcast over the years, so it's great to finally have a discussion with you.
It's great to be here.
Great. What I would like to do, Mark, in the beginning of my podcast with my guest is go over your background a little bit before you started your venture now, which is whatonearthishappening.com, which you have several writings that you've done and articles, and of course your podcast that you've been doing over the years. And then I
Deadly standoff in Midwest City involving a Dallas man, a 2-year-old, and Midwest City police.
Search warrants just released today show the man made some bizarre statements during that standoff and also kept a notebook full of religious writings. News 9 crime tracker Adriana Ivashinsky joins us live in the newsroom with our top story.
Well, Amanda, this search warrant was just filed this afternoon and details what happened during the hostage situation. It also lays out what police found at the suspect's apartment in Midwest City. This is where Midwest City police say 37-year-old Sammy Lamont Wallace lived since January 16th of this year. Apartment 3 at the Parkview Apartments, located near Reno and Midwest Boulevard.
I really can't believe he lived here.
The search warrant states police seized both a 3-ring binder and a spiral notebook filled with religious writings inside the apartment. They also seized the suspect's OG&E bill, a bank statement, and took photos of the scene. Court records show Wallace was from the Dallas, Texas area and was a wanted felon. His criminal background shows he had been arrested for assault and battery and robbery with a dangerous weapon, as well as harassment. He'd even served time in prison. Police say on Monday, Wallace entered this Walmart neighborhood market less than a mile away from his apartment and held a 2-year-old girl hostage, threatening her life with a knife. Police say during their negotiations, Wallace made mention of a group named the Illuminati. Police claim their research shows the Illuminati is a satanic cult and that they learned June 21st is their day of human sacrifice. But why Wallace chose June 17th to take the girl hostage is still unknown. Police say they were unsuccessful in their attempts to negotiate with Wallace and say they had to use deadly force to save the child's life. The search warrant states Wallace was shot only one time and was pronounced dead at the hospital.
I think that they did what they had to do.
Now, we do know that the child and her mother were not harmed during that terrifying standoff. Police are not releasing their name at this time. Live in the newsroom, Adriana Ivashinsky, News 9.
At least not physically harmed. All right, Adriana. Midwest City police.
Part of the show. We're going to clip it. In fact, mark it when we get up here, Tiffany, and we're going to clip this, and I want you to share just this part with your friends. I'm going to make it very, very short. And here's what I want you to send to your friends. America, I am a imperfect messenger for this. You can call me what you want. You can say I hate the president or whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want you to listen here for just a few minutes, and I'm going to show you some videotape. And I'm going to tell you about the big bad Republicans here. The Republicans, as well as the Democrats, are dragging us into another war. Your government is using your name, and they are sucking you into the Middle East again. And only 15% of Americans think that's a good idea. 11% think we should send arms to the Syrians. But those numbers don't come with any information. Those numbers will be much, much lower if you show this to your friend. I want to warn you, what I'm going to show you is extremely graphic, but please send this along. A friend sent this to you. Please send it to another friend. This is a very graphic video of Commander Abu Sakar. He is in this video. He has just killed a Syrian military member. This is a rebel that is now cutting the chest open of that Syrian. He takes out his liver and his heart. And to show you what's going to happen to all of his enemies, the commander eats it. The dead soldier on the ground is the enemy of the guy we are now arming. This president and the Republicans, it's the Democrats and the Republicans, the progressives, trust this demented terrorist with weapons. Yet the same people want to take guns out of your hands because they don't trust you, but I digress. This is such a warning sign that we are on the wrong side, that even Vladimir Putin sounds sane compared to the progressive Republicans and the progressive Democrats in Washington, including our president. Listen to what President Putin just said.
I believe you will not deny the fact that one hardly should back those who kills their enemies and eats their organs and all that is filmed and shot. Do you want to support these people? Do you want to supply arms to these people?
Okay, America, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. We have to put down our partisan politics. We have to stop. When Vladimir Putin is making the case to the American people, do you want to give guns to the people who are eating the heart and liver out of their enemies? It's a no-brainer. We must stop the people in Washington. We've got to stop intervening in the wars in the Middle East. I hate this, sounds awful, but if they're going to kill each other, let them kill each other. We will not survive this. Please, stop the back and forth of the Republicans and Democrats. Our children and our country are at stake at this point.
By GnosticWarrior.com, bringing light to the darkness. There's a tremendous amount of religious fervor surrounding the new Superman movie called Man of Steel. Many moviegoers, critics, and news outlets are teeming with various stories about the Man of Steel being portrayed as a savior, Jesus Christ. But what they fail to understand is that Superman is being portrayed actually as the pre-Jesus savior of mankind. Hence, before there was a Jesus, there was a Superman, and today Christians would consider him more of an Antichrist or a Lucifer than the second coming of Christ.
Hopes and dreams travel with you.
Be an outcast. I'll kill him.
Now, he'll be a god to them.
It's interesting that his father says that he'll be a god to them, and of course here is the baby, the Messiah, the Savior, being born right now. And here's the next shot. We see the Savior of flames. Is this Lucifer? Is this the Antichrist? In this next clip, we're going to see the S, the emblem of Superman on his chest. And of course, he says this is not an S. What is this? Is this the serpent, the symbol of wisdom and knowledge of the ancients coming back?
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. In my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about
Excuse me.
Here we have Moses being born out of the water, and it's interesting. It's like he's going down the Nile right now, the river, and here he is being saved and saving some of the people, the kids on the bus.
You're the answer, son. You're the answer to are we alone in the universe?
Can I just keep pretending I'm your son?
You are my son.
Here he is as Christ with his arms stretched out like the cross.
What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended? What if a child aspired to something greater?
I have written about the occult meaning of the dog before on my blog, GnosticWarrior.com, and you can go ahead and check some of these articles out there. But in an ancient hymn to the god Amun-Ra, it is said that the gods gather as dogs around his feet. This connection between dogs, humans, kings, and the gods goes back thousands of years. They were not only a pet for our ancient ancestors, as they are today for many people, but were also adored as gods, and even kings took on the title Dog of the Sun or Head King. This head king we clearly see in Anubis, the dog-headed Egyptian god of the judgment, protection, and the divine guide to the dead for the journey into the afterlife. In later times, during the Ptolemaic period, Anubis was merged with the Greek god Hermes, becoming Anubis. Here's a couple other cool things. This is the trailer that was released a little while ago, and if you notice the time, it says 2 minutes and 33 seconds. This is really common for these trailers, and it's kind of an occult thing that they do. They always, put them at, 33 or 3 minutes and 3 seconds. And what's interesting about Superman as well is the date, December 11th, 2012. 11 plus 12, you get 33. And again, that 33 number keeps showing up with a Superman. Here's the new trailer, 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Again, the 33 you're going to see. And again, what are we going to see with the date? Bam! Here is the date. If you add the 4 and the 6, April is the 4th month. The 16th is 20 plus 13. What do you guys get? I hope you pass math. It's 33, folks. I have written about the number 33 on my blog, GnosticWarrior.com. The number 33 is a master number. It's considered the master teacher. And of course, this is the infamous number of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which 33 would be the highest degree. 33 represents Christ consciousness, that Jesus was crucified at Golgotha, place of the skull, at age 33 in the year 33 AD. The number of turns in a complete sequence of human DNA equals 33. The divine name of Elohim appears 33 times in the story of creation in the opening chapters of Genesis. So there's all kinds of different occult meanings to the number 33. Check those out at GnosticWarrior.com.
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun.